Love doesn't always follow the rules. Sometimes it creeps in when and where it shouldn't, like family vacations, late nights at the office, or moments right before I do. In today's stories, we dive into the kind of romances that are never meant to happen, but do. These are the confessions no one dares to say out loud, but once you hear them, you can't look away.
I fell for my stepbrother after our parents married. Now we're sneaking around during family vacations. I know how this sounds. I really do. But the thing is, I met my stepbrother before we became siblings. We were in the same high school but didn't know each other. We shared a few glances at lunch, passed each other in the halls, and even matched on Tinder once, though we never messaged. I remember seeing his profile pop up, thinking he was cute in that quietly confident way. He had this photo by a lake with a crooked smile. I hesitated before swiping right, but I did it anyway. Never got the nerve to message. Flash forward 2 years. My mom falls in love with this guy she met at a local volunteer event. She glowed when she talked about him. She hadn't smiled like that since the divorce. I was genuinely happy for her until I met his son. And my heart dropped. It was him. That guy I used to crush on. The one from the hallway, the lunchroom, the app. We both froze at the dinner table the first time we were introduced, like some cosmic joke was playing out in real time. My mom and his dad were beaming, so proud of their new, blended family. Meanwhile, he and I were silently screaming inside. At first, we tried to be normal, civil, polite. He moved in that fall. We shared a hallway. I could hear his music through the walls at night, lofi beats, soft indie rock. Sometimes I'd pause what I was doing just to listen. He borrowed my charger once when his broke. I forgot to give his hoodie back after grabbing it from the dryer. Little moments piled up, shared snacks, late night chats in the kitchen, long glances when no one else was around. We never said anything, but the tension was there. Always. Then came the annual family trip, cabin, snow, zero privacy. It's a tradition my mom insists on every year. Board games, hot cocoa, matching pajamas, the whole thing. He and I were assigned to the same bunk room because your siblings now get used to it. That's when everything snapped. The tension had been building for months. That night, after everyone had gone to bed, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the way he had looked at me during dinner, like he wanted to say something but couldn't. Around 2 a.m., I heard soft footsteps. Then the bed dipped slightly at my feet. He sat there in the dark, not touching me, not saying anything at first. I remember staring at the ceiling, heart pounding. Finally, he whispered, "I can't do this anymore." And I whispered back, "Me neither." Then he leaned in. We kissed. Just once. But it was everything. It felt wrong, like we had just broken some unspoken rule. But also like the only thing that had felt real in a long, long time. His hand lingered at my jaw for a second longer than it should have. We didn't talk about it the next day, but the air between us changed. Denial stopped being an option. Since then, we've been sneaking around. Secret meetups during vacations. Movie nights that turn into cuddling when the lights go out. Car rides where our pinkies touch just barely on the center console. Texts that could burn the phone if anyone ever saw them. Inside jokes layered with meaning no one else gets. Sometimes I catch him watching me across the room, and I have to look away before I smile. It's not like we're blood related. We're not. But we are step-siblings. And that makes it complicated. I've tried to move on. Downloaded Hinge again. Went on a couple dates. Nothing felt right. He dated someone briefly, some girl from his class. I hated how jealous I felt. When he ended it, I didn't ask why. But he looked at me for a long time afterward, like I already knew. The worst part? We don't know what we are. Are we a fling clinging to teenage tension? Are we two people too scared to admit we're in love? Or are we just one wrong family dinner away from everything exploding? Every holiday, I hold my breath, hoping no one notices the looks we give each other when we think no one's watching. And every time he hugs me goodbye, I feel it again. The ache of wanting something I can't have and already took.
If that story had you hooked, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps this channel grow and lets me bring even more wild, jaw-dropping confessions straight to your screen.
My boss and I started an affair during late-night projects. Now she's promoting me, and rumors are spreading. I never intended to sleep with my boss. I swear, it started with late nights at the office. She's a department head, sharp, confident, a bit intimidating. And I was just a guy trying to prove himself in his first real job. Fresh out of school, hungry to impress, constantly over-caffeinated and underpaid. At first, she barely noticed me. I was just another name in meetings, another junior analyst buried in spreadsheets. But I stayed late. I volunteered for the messy stuff. I worked weekends without being asked. And slowly, I became her go-to. It started small. Can you sit in on this call? Or run the numbers on this deck? Eventually, it was come to this client dinner, or I want you on this project. One Friday night, we were the last two in the office. The lights were dimmed, the hum of computers the only sound. We just finished a grueling pitch to a high-profile client, and both of us were mentally fried. I made a dumb joke, something about how the coffee tasted like regret, and to my surprise, she laughed. Not a polite chuckle, a real laugh, like I had actually cracked through the ice. Then she looked at me, really looked, and said, "You're not like the others." I should have just smiled, said thank you, gone home. Instead, I asked, "What do you mean?" She stepped closer. There was this pause, heavy, electric, dangerous. Then she kissed me. I kissed her back. The next thing I remember, we were at her place. That night changed everything. What started as one-time stress relief turned into secret glances in the break room, quick touches when no one was looking, weekend strategy sessions at boutique hotels, burner emails, texts deleted the moment they were read. She told me to always leave separately, to never follow her into the elevator. Optics matter, she said. It felt reckless. It felt addictive. I told myself I was in control. I wasn't. Then came the promotion. I hadn't even applied for the role. She created it. New title, pay raise, corner office with a view. She said it was because I earned it, because my work was too valuable to risk losing. But the whispers started instantly. He's her favorite. Must be nice to be that close to management. Wonder what he's doing to get ahead. I laughed it off at first, but deep down I started to question everything. Did I deserve this? Or was I just the product of a well-kept secret? We tried to end it. Twice. Once after a retreat when we spent too much time alone. Another time after an anonymous HR complaint circulated. But somehow we always found our way back. There's this moment after every client win, just before the applause, where she looks at me across the room. And I know we're still in it. Still entangled. She says she's falling for me. I think I am too. But is it love or power? Every interaction feels like walking a tightrope. If someone sees us exit a conference room together, is that a coincidence or fuel for gossip? I've stopped going to company happy hours. I monitor every word I say, every glance, every email. The pressure is unbearable. I used to dream of making it in this company. I pictured rising through the ranks, maybe becoming a director by 30. Now I lie awake at night, rehearsing what I'll say if someone finds out. I imagine the HR meeting, the headlines in Slack, the way my coworkers will look at me, pity, envy, disgust. And what happens to her if this comes out? I don't know if I'm more scared of losing my job or losing her. And every day, the walls close and a little more. One misstep, and everything we've built, professionally and personally, crumbles. Sometimes I wonder if this is ambition or self-destruction, dressed up in a tailored suit.
If you're still here, you must love stories that push the limits. Go ahead and give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe. It helps me bring you even more stories that people are too afraid to tell out loud.
My wedding is next week, but I had a one-night stand at my bachelor party that's haunting me. I'm getting married in 6 days. Everything is set, the venue, the dress rehearsal, the guest list, the vows. The playlists are finalized. The table settings have been color-coded. Even the caterer confirmed yesterday. And I can't stop thinking about the woman I slept with last weekend. It was my bachelor party, Vegas, of course. My groomsmen had everything planned out. Drinks, clubs, borderline legal entertainment. I told myself I'd behave. I swore I would. And I did. For most of the night. Until I met her. She wasn't a stripper, or someone hired to make the night more fun. She was just there, sitting at the bar, sipping a whiskey neat, laughing at something the bartender said. She didn't look like she was trying to impress anyone. She looked like she was exactly where she wanted to be. We locked eyes. It wasn't flirtatious at first, more like curious recognition. Like we were both wondering what the other was doing in that mess of neon and noise. She asked why I looked miserable at my own bachelor party. I told her I was just tired. She raised an eyebrow and said, or maybe unsure. That caught me off guard. No one had asked me that, not even me. One drink turned into 3. We sat in a corner booth and talked about everything. Not the surface level stuff. Real things. Life. Regrets. Family. The pressure to hit certain milestones by a certain age. She said marriage terrified her. I told her I wasn't sure if I was getting married because I wanted to, or because it was the right time. At 3 a.m., we were in her hotel room. No names, no numbers, no future. Just a moment suspended in time. It wasn't rough or wild. It wasn't messy. It was quiet, careful, like two people trying to hold something fragile that was never really theirs. I left before sunrise, slipped out while she was still asleep. I didn't even look back when I closed the door. Felt sick the whole flight home. The airplane food tasted like ash. I stared out the window and couldn't stop replaying everything in my head. And now I'm back, wearing the ring, giving speeches, smiling in photos, and it's eating me alive. I haven't told anyone, not even my best man, who usually knows everything about me before I do. My fiancée doesn't deserve this. She's amazing, kind, loyal, a planner, someone who's dreamed of this day since she was 12. And I can't stop wondering if I was really ready. Would I have done it? Was it cold feet? Was it subconscious sabotage? Or was that woman at the bar just a mirror, showing me a version of myself I've been avoiding? I keep imagining the wedding day. Everyone watching. My mom tearing up. The string quartet starting. Her walking down the aisle, radiant, heart wide open. Me standing there, smiling. And this secret burning a hole in my chest. What happens if I carry this into the marriage? Do I keep it buried and pretend it never happened? Or do I confess and risk tearing down everything we built, including who she thinks I am? There's no right answer, just consequences. Some nights, I stare at the ceiling and wonder if love means honesty or protection. Would telling her be brave or cruel? All I know is this. The closer the wedding gets, the more I feel like a groom in someone else's story. Like I'm playing a role I no longer recognize. One I thought I wanted until I found myself looking into the eyes of a stranger who somehow knew me better in one night than I've allowed anyone else to.
These stories blur the line between right and wrong. But which one stuck with you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And as always, thanks for watching and for keeping these confessions alive.